Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. We got some pretty crazy news. A lot of you might have heard about it already, but we'll do our little bit on it. There was an accidental wipe, at least a partial wipe. Some folks' accounts. We got an announcement for summer drops and some tweets from Dmitri we can show that kind of give a little bit more insight into wipe. So we'll get the news done out of the way, and first all the hard factual stuff, I suppose, if you want to call it that. Then I'll expand on some of the rumors and my opinion on all this junk in the later part of the video. So let's jump right into this mess. All right, so first up, as a result of a technical malfunction, there was a loss of part of the game profile's data. It is not possible to store the profile's data in a short period of time. All players whose profiles have been affected will receive a proportional in-game compensation in a short period of time. Achievements and in-game stats were not lost due to a technical issue. All right, so there is a shitload to unpack here. Long and short of it, if you were playing when this technical malfunction happened, your account probably got reset. Now, it seems to have only affected PvP. I have not seen anybody on PvE be affected yet. I was on PvE, I was not affected. I know people that played for 2 or 3 hours when all the other servers were down that were on PvE. That doesn't mean nobody in PvE was affected. I just haven't seen it yet. The primary people impacted were those that were logged into their PvP accounts when this technical malfunction, which we'll get into some details about that a little bit later, because it's still kind of rumors, but trustworthy rumors. When this technical malfunction happened, and it literally reset people's accounts, like a full-on wipe. Like I said, it didn't affect everybody. I'm gonna do a poll on YouTube. It'll probably already by the time you see this video, but it'll be asking, you know, hey, were you affected or not? And get an idea. Maybe we can get an idea of roughly how many people in the community. You know, is it 10%, 20%, 50%? You know, who got affected by it. So that'll be interesting to see. Now, after that, let me drag this over. BSG, a couple hours later, what time was this? This was 12:42 p.m. It happened around noon for me, which would have been 2 p.m. Eastern, is when I started seeing people come into chat saying, hey, my account just got wiped. It was kind of wild. But 3:02 p.m. So it took them about 2.5 hours to get everything back up and running, maybe a little bit more. And they said the in-game compensation has been sent to all the players whose in-game profiles have been lost due to technical malfunction. Here's a screenshot of it. Viewers sent in a video. We'll throw it up here so you guys can see it. Basically, it's the starter gear, but also we got a whole list here of stuff that I'm going to go through while the video plays. You got level 42, your character. You got 100 million rubles. 50,000 euros, $50,000, 4 money cases, labs key cards, interchange key cards, mark room keys, a lightkeeper beeper, the DPST, but it's not encoded. So I don't know how that works with tasks and stuff, because you have to have a task available to actually go get that. Max traders were also included with this little package, including ref, which was actually pretty hard to get. I still don't have it. This also included most of the items on the traders that were from tasks. So like the barters and stuff, you had those, like the lightkeeper barters for the masks and things. You could buy those. The crafts that you unlocked from tasks look like they were still locked. So you can't craft 855A1 or the CPC or some of that other stuff, which really sucks. All of your character skills were put to level 45, which is a downgrade for some folks, but there's a lot of skills that you would never have ever got that high. Mastery skills were all level 1. Max hideout, like your hideout was fully upgraded, but your Bitcoin farm was empty. The Hall of Fame was empty, generators, all of that stuff, which is why you saw graphics cards go through the roof. If you had Kappa, it's gone. So you'd be back to your Gamma, or I guess your Alpha container. I didn't see anybody with an Alpha. Not that there wasn't there, but a Gamma container was what everybody was reset back to that I saw. Task progression was case by case. I saw everything from people that had their tasks, like the video here, where their task progression was saved. Their task progression was fine. Like even in the middle of it, like he had planted a couple of gold chains, it was still there. But there's also people that had their task progression completely wiped and were all the way back to their ground zero tasks. There are people that had their tasks saved, but all of their progression was lost. So there's a mixed bag there on what people ended up with on their account data. This applies to achievements as well. I didn't see anybody that had their achievements reset, like all the way, like they didn't have their achievements. But what I did see was there are people that had their progress reset, which that really sucks. Because I mean, there's a clip of a guy that, like when this happened, he was on his kill grind for the 100 kill achievements, and he was literally in raid and at 98 kills, and he got reset, and his stuff is 0 out of 100 now. So that's really shitty. So again, the achievements are going to be kind of a mixed bag, case by case, depending, I think, on where your luck. There's going to be 10 rep with the flea market, which gives you 6 offers. And then there's a couple of weird cases where your secure container, your special slots, like where you can put a rangefinder or your markers and things, your cameras, those were saved, as well as an armband. And you see it right here in this video. His stuff was saved, including his gamma. His gamma was saved, and the items inside of it, they didn't get wiped. So that's it's so weird, because he got the compensation, everything else was reset, but that stuff stayed for some reason. And there are people, if you're one of these, that got reset but did not get the compensation. So if this happened to you, I asked BSG what they want people to do. They said the best thing to do is put in a bug report. Now, I don't want to give you false hope. I can't imagine, with where we're at right now in wipe and how busy everything is, and I don't know how many people are going to be like this, enough that there's people commenting. So I don't think it's going to be a small amount, 5 or 10 people. It's probably going to be thousands of people that got their shit wiped and didn't get compensated. And if all those people are put in bug reports, I don't know if BSG is going to go through those one by one and fix them, or how they're going to do it. Hopefully you can get your stuff fixed. If you got reset, you can get compensated. This isn't if you go reset your account. If you did that, I don't know that you're going to get helped. But if you got your stuff reset by this technical malfunction, then BSG owes you compensation. Hopefully if you report it, they will give it to you. So that's that. I got a lot more I'm going to say about this in the later part of the video. I just want to separate the actual hard news, the fact stuff, from the more opinion and rumor kind of stuff. So next up is the drops. BSG announced drops, which is really interesting. Trying to pull this up without screwing it up here. So no date. We got drops announced, Summer Twitch Drops event, which has been a long time since they did this. I didn't go back and look just because I'm kind of being lazy about it, because it doesn't really matter. But I want to say 2001 was the last time we saw summer drops, but it could have even been 2000. I don't remember exactly. It's kind of a clusterfuck, almost worse than the Christmas drop was last time, but they're coming. I imagine this is because there's a lot of other stuff going on. ABI is launching on Monday, it sounds like, the 13th. And you have the Delta Force going on right now. So this is a marketing play. I'm not trying to be cynical about it. It just is what it is. But it also could signal that there's a lot more planned for this summer wipe. The Christmas wipes are always the big ones. There's tons of events and things going on, and drops, and the Christmas tree and all that other stuff. So potentially this drop season, this summer thing, this wipe, this will be with wipe. Again, there's no date because they don't want to announce wipe, but the game will wipe. I don't know if this will happen a week after, if it'll happen on the day of wipe, or how it's going to go, but it will be there like that. And as soon as we get more information, pretty soon, probably in the next couple of days, once pre-wipe events start, I'm wondering if we're actually going to get a date this time once pre-wipe events start, because of this whole Twitch drops thing and how they have to plan, or streamers have to get slots and plan around it and all that other stuff. So we'll see. And then the last thing I want to bring up is Dmitri. Some tweets, some news updates with him. If you don't know who he is, he's had a PR at Battlestate Games. And so he had some replies here that I want to point out. Let me get to his replies. Will there be pre-wipe events, or was mechanic event was the mechanic event the pre-wipe? And yes, wait for the pre-wipe events. So they're still coming, and wipe is this month. Yes. So I guess that could mean this isn't early month. I don't think so. Me personally, I think wipe's going to be next week sometime. It's just kind of where we're at. I don't think this big accidental wipe thing is going to affect the plans. They're not going to move everything around because of this, all of their schedules and stuff. As much some people would like it. I think we're going to see a wipe next week, though, hopefully. That's just wishful thinking on my behalf. It could be later. That's just kind of where my life I'm kind of situating it around, is the idea that wipe is going to be next week, though I don't know for sure. Okay, so a little bit of a change up here. Magically got a haircut all of a sudden, as you can see. And just a gap in the way we recorded this. Had to go get a haircut and wanted to change up what I had done. Didn't really like how the first take went. So here is the more opinion and rumor side of this whole shit show that has happened the last couple of days. And this is from Nice Guy. I have no reason to doubt what he's reported. I trust what he said. I trust the sources that he told me he had. Obviously, he can't show pictures of screenshots or DMs, because the person he talked to is not supposed to be talking to him. And that's kind of how this works. If you're doing news stuff, even for video games, it doesn't matter if it's politics or video games or whatever, If you have inside sources, you can't reveal them. You can't tell them exactly what you said, because if that happens, then that person gets in trouble and your source dries up, and then there is no more information. So the criticism about him not posting screenshots or whatever is kind of dumb, but it is what it is. Anyways, I trust what he says. And the information he got that is essentially, again, this is subject to interpretation because there's telephone game, it's communication, blah, blah, blah. BSG has a separate server, kind of like an ETS, but much smaller, more private, that they quick test stuff on, have some people on there, you know, I don't know, 10, 20, 100, I don't know what it is. It's obviously smaller though. And that's where they were working, and they were testing stuff, and they were wiping things on that server to test certain stuff. And somebody accidentally wiped the wrong server. So that's what led to this. Now, I'll throw a link to Nolan's video down below. You can go listen to what he has to say about it. So you're not just hearing it from me, but that's the rumor mill, inside story, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't call it necessarily a rumor mill. It's the inside story from the unnamed sources, or however they talk about it in the news. Same kind of deal, right? So that's it. Somebody accidentally hit the wipe button. My guess is that because of the process and how it works, it's a long duration. Like, you got to think about how big the database is for Tarkov's backend, all the player profiles, all the data. You know, it's going to be for millions of accounts. I would assume. You know, the account doesn't have to be active necessarily. Maybe it does have to be logged into at least once, but the information's there, and the database has to go through and reset it all and clear it once it's created. And that's going to take a long time. Even if it's 100,000 or 300,000 or 500,000 or a million, that takes a long time. Versus if you're doing it to 10, 20, 30 on a small server, it's going to be really quick. And they probably realized after they hit the wipe button that, hey, this is not the right thing, and they canceled it, which is what, to me, that explains why some people got wiped, some people didn't. The degrees at which people got reset are not all the same. All that kind of stuff just leads to the database getting completely screwed up and having a lot of problems in it. Now, there's a lot of folks talking about firing people, or, you know, I've seen, of course, you see people threatening BSG and personally attacking people they've never met. That stuff's nonsense. It's not necessary. If you're doing that, go touch some fucking grass. Get out of the house, because if a video game breaking pushes you to that point, that's on you. That's not on whoever it happened. Yes, BSG fucked up. This is a huge mistake. This is a systems failure. Not systems as in the server's failure. A systems as in how you structure your work. The idea that something like this could be done so easily and accidentally shows that BSG doesn't have enough thresholds or things preventing that from happening. And the whole recovering data thing, I'm not sure. We know BSG can do it. They've done it in the past. There's been 2 or 3 times that they've had to roll back data and reset things. So there's some degree of data backup. But huge databases like this, you don't back them up every day. You can't. It's not plausible to do that. And anybody who works in databases or works around just large backups of data understands that. It gets done incrementally. It gets done, you know, the changes get backed up, whatever. And usually you do like once a week backups. And the other side of it is the time. It's one thing to just reset and roll everything on a server back, but when you have to go through and do specific chunks, that's not as easy to do. And they probably could do it. It would just take a while, and it would take time and effort. And you look at it from a business standpoint, are you going to spend thousands of dollars in man hours to reset data that is going to be deleted in a week or maybe 2 anyways? Because that's what's happened. Wipes soon. So yes, it does suck that people got reset. It really sucks if some people lost their achievement progress. But from BSG's perspective, or anybody who would be in their shoes, it doesn't make any sense to waste a shitload of resources on something that's going to be deleted in a couple of days anyways. And I know that kind of sounds like it sucks, but that's the pragmatic. That's the way you have to do things when you have to deal with dilemmas. You have to pick the path of the least bad path, and that's what BSG is doing, I think. So that's how we get here where we are today, where some people are wiped, some people are not. If you did not get your compensation for getting wiped, do a bug report. I got that from Apple, from BSG. I asked him what he wanted people to do, but I don't know if you're gonna get your stuff fixed. I just don't. I don't know if there's enough time. So like me, I'm playing PvE hardcore and playing other games right now. If my shit had been deleted, I probably wouldn't even play PvP. I probably wouldn't play the pre-wipe events. I wouldn't do anything unless there was something like an achievement attached or, you know, reward like that mattered after the wipe. I wouldn't, if I was deleted, I wouldn't be playing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's exactly what would happen. So that's about all I got. I wish I could offer something better. I wish I could give you platitudes that would make you feel better, but some folks are just beyond helping with this. Like actually physically, there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to make it right. Hopefully BSG corrects the problems and the methods they have that could allow this to begin with. Because if this happens again at any other point, oh boy, they don't do themselves any favors. I don't know what else to say. They haven't been doing themselves any favors this year. They're trying. They're making an effort, but you know, it's stuff like this that just is really hard for communities to tolerate when it happens, if it happens over and over again. So we'll just have to wait and see. Buck up, move on, play a different game. Life will be fine, I promise. We'll hopefully get wipe here soon though. But we'll wrap her up there. As always, appreciate you guys watching. Wouldn't be here without you. Appreciate your support, especially if you make it all the way through the video like this. Shout out for my music down below. Won't give the whole spiel. Go check out the link. We got a bunch of music. It's free. Let me know what music you like if you haven't checked it out yet. Well, sign off there. Wish you guys the best of luck in your raids in these last couple days of the wipe, and we'll see you in Tarkov.